Welcome back, guys, to another episode of Simply Football. I am Leo Galina, and I am joined by Muso and Luca. And today we will be talking about overrated and underrated players. But before we start, make sure you guys go to mysteryjerseyboss.com and use the code SimplyFootball22. Again, that's SimplyFootball22. And you get 10% off your next purchase. Make sure you guys go buy it. They send mystery jerseys all over the globe. And maybe you'll get a lucky surprise. Alright, so let's start off with Luca. Luca, you want to start off with some players
All
or
right.
whatever
So
you're asking?
today we will be playing overrated or underrated, and we'll pinch a little perfectly rated in there. We have some all sorts of stuff to talk about today. First thing we're going to talk about will be a player. Played for Manchester United for a bit now, but definitely not in his prime anymore. But we'll definitely talk about him. It's Paul Pogba. So we'll start off with Joseph Musso. What do you think about this? Paul
Um,
Pogba, overrated, underrated, or perfectly rated?
are we talking about current? Like,
Current. All of these players are current.
um, I think he is perfectly rated because he's nothing special anymore as you've seen him in his past years. I think he was in his prime back in when he was playing in the World Cup for France when he played for Juve. Those were his good years, but now he's slowed down a bit. You don't see any really thing special from him because in the midfield you have people like Bruno Fernandes now,
Whoa!
Kevin De Bruyne,
Whoa! Slow down. They
Kevin
won
De
today,
Bruyne
actually.
now
They won. They won. Bruno scored. And
yeah,
Ronaldo.
Against Brighton Hove
against a
Albion.
relegation team.
Alright,
So, Leia, what do you think of this?
Pogba?
Yeah.
I
You
mean,
can't compare him now. The midfielders
I'd
have
say, I'd
You're not
say,
comparing him to
honestly,
anyone. You're just saying if he's overrated or
honestly,
underrated.
hmm.
I think he's perfectly rated.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he's overrated because when he gets on the field, he does what he does. He gets
Mm-hmm.
5 assists. He gets assists. He plays well, controls the game. But and you can't say underrated because he's just not that. He's just not that guy.
Yeah, 100%.
So I'm saying
I think
perfectly rated.
sounds good. I think he is perfectly rated too. I think he is. If there's like a chart of like, let's say underrated is all the way to the left and overrated is all the way to the right, and perfectly rated is right in the middle. He is a tad bit to the right, to the overrated side, but he's there. He's in
Really?
perfectly rated. But he's there. I'm saying perfectly rated, but he's on the side of overrated for me.
All right.
While for you, he might be perfectly rated, but on the underrated side.
Hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Second player, Riyad Mahrez scored today in Champions League. What are you gonna say, Musa? What do you think? Overrated, underrated, perfectly rated?
I think he's underrated. I think he's a brilliant player.
Oh.
Oh, Leo, just because you're for Man United doesn't mean you have to hate on Riyad Mahrez, but I
God.
think he's underrated. I think he's a great player. I think he has those technical skills that he could
Oh,
advance in the
yeah.
games. He
Mm-hmm.
does special things on the ball. He's one of
Oh, yeah.
next upcoming wingers. I
Let him
think.
speak, bro.
Yeah, Leo, shut
Come
up,
on.
bro.
He's trying to speak.
Leo,
Go.
once we get to one of your United
All
players,
right. Mares? He is so overrated, bro.
Oh
He
my
is
god!
so overrated.
No,
He's not
no.
that good.
You can, you
Like,
can.
what did he do? Like, congrats. He scored a freaking offside goal against freaking Sporting CP. Like, congrats. Nice. Anyone could score that. Like, he's not that
Uh,
good. He's not that good. He's overrated, bro.
so are you telling me that is his only score? That is his only goal he's ever scored ever?
No, 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 not that. I'm just saying. People overrate him like people rate him as if he's freaking like
Mm.
prime Ronaldo. Like,
Leo, don't base him off because he plays on Man City. Base
I'm
him off
not.
Or don't
because
base
he's a
him
good
off that he
player.
scored a goal today that was a
I'm
tap
not.
in.
I'm
Yes,
not.
you are.
Okay, but because we're saying current day. That's today.
Oh my God, he means by current day, he means today. That's what he thinks current day.
No, and also
Oh,
like, okay, he does well in the Premier League, but like people freaking rate him way too much. Though it's like
Okay.
he's freaking. If there was like overrated, like he would be like the top of the pyramid for me.
hmm
What about you, Luca?
I think he's underrated. I think he's very magical. He can do some stuff with the ball, 5-star skiller, easily. I think if he had a better weak foot, he would be a great player. But let's move on. Third player, Karim Benzema. Musa, what do you think? Overrated, underrated, perfectly rated?
no, I think perfectly ready. He's a great striker for the for Real Madrid. He's a good
Mhm.
player on France too. He's a great all around player. He could finish in the back of the net anywhere. So he's one. I think that was the key player that he's rising now for Real Madrid, and he's after they lose Ronaldo back then when he left Real Madrid to go to Juve. Benzema stepped up and he did his
Mhm.
job for Real Madrid. So now he's doing even better now. Leo.
Galeen?
I'm going underrated. He is so underrated, man. Like, come on, like the year he had last year, and the
Mhm.
season, like no one's even talking about Benzema. As
Mhm.
everyone's talking about Lewandowski and them, but like Benzema stepped up so much. Like this year, I just checked. He has 21 games, 17 goals, and 7 assists just in La Liga.
Wow.
Not even counting Champions League. So he's that striker you put up top. He'll score goals for you, and no one gives him the credit he deserves at Real Madrid. Like everyone just talks about Lewandowski or talk about the Premier League players, but no one really talks about Benzema and what he could do on the field. So I'm saying Benzema is underrated.
I'm gonna have to agree with Muso. I think he's perfectly rated. I think last year he had a great season. He would be in my underrated, but now he's still having a great season. But I think he's perfectly rated now. He's starting to get older, and you can see it now. But he's still very good.
Is
So let's move
17
on.
goals not enough? 17 goals in 21 games, is that not enough?
No, but I'm just saying compared to what he had last year.
Leo, I think people
Oh, he's looking it up. He's looking it
Let's see what he had last year.
Leo, people say good things about him. I don't think he's underrated. People talk
No.
about
Last
him.
year he
So
had
I wouldn't say he's underrated. I think
last
he's a
year
great
last year
striker.
last year he had 23 goals. Last season just in La
Wow.
Liga. In La
Wow.
Liga he had 23 goals.
Cool.
Yeah, and now
Okay.
this year he's almost.
So let's stick without this topic of Real Madrid. Do you think Real Madrid is overrated, underrated, or perfectly rated, Joseph Musso? As a club.
As a club.
As a
Overrated.
club.
So in my eyes, I do not see them going far in the Champions League. So I would
Mhm.
put them as overrated because I think people imagine them maybe beating PSG, maybe putting up a fight to them. But I
Mhm.
see PSG going through and going on to the quarterfinals.
Mhm.
But Real Madrid do have this upcoming side. Like they're in like rebuilding now. They have
Mhm.
Vinicius Jr. now is a great player for them. He's a great player for Brazil and Real Madrid. I
Mhm.
think these young players now are really coming back in to the league, and La Liga is going to come big league again.
Mhm.
Killing.
Uh, Real Madrid. I'm going perfectly rated. They're
Mhm.
not overrated because even though as it stands they're losing to PSG, they still have a chance to beat them. Like I said in our predictions video, I said Real Madrid's gonna beat PSG. I think Real Madrid they have the chemistry together. Like when you think of Real Madrid, they always have the same group of players every year. Like they like build chemistry with each other. It's like Juve. Every year, besides like one or two changes, they keep the same team every year. But then you have PSG on the other hand. It's like they signed 10 players. So like
Mhm.
Real Madrid keep the core in their team. and like no one like overrates any players or like underrates them as a club. So I'm saying perfectly rated.
I'm gonna say perfectly rated too. I think that they're a really good club. Fan base is incredible. They have great fans. Stadium is beautiful. Good players, big names: Vinicius Junior, Benzema, Casillas. Very big names. But the way they're performing is okay. That's why they're not in the underrated part. I think that deserves to be
Mm-hmm.
perfectly rated. But they are on the top of the La
La
Liga.
Liga.
All right, so let's move on. Uh, let's see. Okay, do you guys think American players in general, professional American players, are overrated, underrated, or perfectly rated? Muso.
Mm.
For example, Christian Pulisic, Tyler Adams, Weston McKennie, Musa, all those players playing in Europe. Do you think they're overrated, underrated, perfectly rated?
No, I think USA is underrated because USA is not one of these nations where you see competing with these top European national teams. They starting to have great young players, so they're
Mm-hmm.
starting to develop their academy a bit, starting to develop their team a little bit more, and you
Mm-hmm.
see that uh, USA is now trying to like become one of those countries where soccer is another big thing. Like in Europe, soccer is the biggest sport there.
Mm-hmm.
USA, we're getting close there. That's what they basically want. You see players from the US, they're going to Europe now. They're going everywhere and all the top leagues. So I would say USA underrated.
Underrated. I mean, I'm gonna take this two different ways. If you're talking about USA, like their lineup, like their actual, like their strongest starting 11,
I'm talking about
then we're
American
going
players.
perfectly
American
rated.
players in Europe. In Europe,
Oh, in
are
Europe,
they overrated or underrated?
American players in Europe,
You see what
Yeah,
McKennie does for Juve. He's a great
underrated,
player.
underrated,
insane.
underrated,
Thank you.
Underrated.
Yeah.
underrated. Not that many people talk about what Brennan Aronson does for Salzburg. He's been amazing there this year.
Mm-hmm.
You have the, like Tyler Adams and for Leipzig, he's killing it. McKennie's having a good season.
Josh
Pulisic,
Sargent
Sargent
scoring the
from
best
Norwich,
goals.
he's having a good season. So I would think, yeah, everyone, not that many people talk about them because they're American. So, but I'm going overrated. But if you're talking about MLS players, MLS American players, they're overrated. Because
Great. That brings me.
if you watch a USA national team game, and the coach puts 11 MLS players out there,
Uh,
they're toast.
okay,
They're
perfect.
done.
You ended that perfectly because that brings me to my next question. The MLS, is it overrated, underrated, or perfectly rated? Joseph
Oh
Musso.
my god.
Uh,
The MLS. You want me to start?
Go
yeah,
ahead, you
you
can
start. You
start.
start.
All right. I think personally, the MLS is underrated.
He's an MLS fanboy. He obviously.
No, I'm not an MLS fanboy. Relax. I think it's definitely not near the top 5 leagues, but it's definitely competing with the Turkish league, the Portuguese league. It's there. It's there. They've produced so many players, and people that think it's like a retirement league. That's just not true. There's so many players that have came
Yeah.
that have went back to other teams that were successful there. Wayne Rooney to Derby, Zlatan to Milan, Nani to Venezia,
Yeah.
Drogba, who else? David Villa went to Japan. There's so many. And they go somewhere else.
Hmm.
They've also produced a lot of young players, a lot of American young players. Weston McKennie played for FC Dallas. Gio Reyna played for NYCFC. There's so many of them, and I think that what makes it overrated. That other leagues can't do or they're not doing as good right now. Muso.
Nah, 100% agree.
Alfonso Davies, best left back in the
Yeah.
world. Sorry.
No, I agree with you. I think the MLS is overrated people, as you said before, they think it's for retirement. You see Insigne now is going to Toronto
So you mean
FC.
underrated? So you're saying underrated then?
No, I'm agreeing with Leo, Luca. I mean,
All right, I'm Leo.
uh, I mean,
Go. So you're agreeing with me.
yeah,
My
yeah.
name is Luca, by the way. That's
Yeah,
Leo.
yeah,
I'm
I
Leo.
understand that. Yeah.
Okay.
So no, people think it's where you retire. People
Mm.
want to see the big players go to the United States because because they feel like they just want. I think they just want to show the U.S. their soccer talents because U.S. When do we see like a great game like that? We see it always in the summer at the big stadiums like MetLife, this that. So MLS underrated.
All right. I'm going overrated. I mean,
Mm.
I watched NYCFC's journey to the final. I watched their playoff games, and honestly, there were some points where like it was like actually interesting, and at some points it was like, what the hell, what the heck is happening here? Like that's what I mean. Like there's some really good players in MLS. Like you have Portland Timbers, you have Chara, the CDM Colombian. He is really. I'll say this. He is really good. He works his butt off so much. But then you have other freaking players like I don't even know, like players are like how are they even a professional player? So like and like people think like oh it's MLS like they're like there's like really good players, like some of the players that are really good, and you have them are like how are they even professional? If like they're professional, like I could become a professional, like anyone could be a professional, at that point.
The
So I'm saying
MLS,
MLS
Leo,
overrated.
the
I think Leo.
MLS.
I think that what you just said might be competing with the dumbest thing you've ever said with Manchester United in third. That's like right there.
Man United in third.
Manchester City. Come on, bro. You're freaking making me look like an idiot. All right,
The MLS. Wait, look at you before you go.
go.
The MLS is a good place to start young players. I think it's a good exposure
Yep.
area. You
Mhm.
you could
No.
bring players. Yeah, you can bring players from different leagues, like the Turkish league, the Spanish league. I mean, not the Spanish league. Turkish
Who
league,
has the
whatever,
Turkish?
or the
Who has the Turkish league produced?
exactly. I
Who
feel
has
like
the Chinese Super League produced?
yeah,
That and that level. Maybe the Portuguese league, maybe a little bit.
I feel like those types of players try to go to the MLS because I feel like the MLS is one of those. It's right under the top leagues.
Where
So
Pulisic
Yeah,
come from?
it's right under the top leagues.
What
he
team in
came
MLS?
from. He didn't play for a team in MLS. He went straight to
Okay.
Germany.
Okay.
But
Tyler.
he's an American.
All right. McKennie. He didn't come
FC
from an
Dallas.
MLS team.
FC Dallas. Yes, he did.
Okay, but he was well known from Schalke.
Okay, but Schalke got him from the MLS.
See, Leo, that's what my point is. You start from the MLS, and then that's how people see you. Then you go
There's
to the
so many
top leagues.
academy players
Exactly, yeah.
that went to Europe. I think Gio Reyna never even played in a real MLS game. I think
All
he
right.
just
I'll
played on
say
the
this.
academy.
No, MLS. It's a good league. I just feel like I don't know. It's like
Okay. You just think I don't know. That's great. That's great. All right, let's move on. We said that. Let's go with. Do you guys think the African Cup of Nations is overrated, underrated, or perfectly
no,
rated?
friggin'
You want me to
underrated.
start?
Yeah, Luca.
I'll
go ahead.
start. I think it is a tad bit overrated.
Whoa.
A tad bit overrated. Some of the stuff that happened in that tournament should not be happening in professional soccer.
The referees, man, they're
The
horrible.
referee stops the game 5 minutes early. Then he restarts the game. Not only you would think, oh, he's gonna give it the 5 minutes back. He ends the game early again. It's like what the hell? Some of the things that I saw just were weird to see. But then as the tournament got on, the teams got better. It started to improve. Obviously, started to get to see some big names. Salah, Mane, Mendy, a bunch of players. But yeah, I think it's a tad bit overrated. Musa.
I think the African Cup of Nations is underrated. I feel like people think because it's African players, it's basically like a World Cup, but just for African teams. Like you see the World Cup, you have all the European
You mean the
teams competing.
Euros?
Whatever, the Euros, the World Cup. Oh yeah. That's what I mean. The Euros. Basically, all the top European teams compete against each other, but then you have the African Cup of Nations where all the top African teams compete against each other.
Yeah.
So I think it's underrated.
Leo?
I also think it's very underrated because, like Musa said, just because people think it's African, like they're gonna be like, oh, nobody cares about this. But like the stuff that happened and the players, the talent that were in that tournament, it's like you can't miss like the referee incidents, the slide tackles.
Who cares
the
about the
challenges,
officiating? It's not their
the
fault.
fights.
No.
The fights, like that's entertaining. Like obviously, yes, no one wants to see like a fight in football and soccer. I mean, but like when you see like freaking like dirty slide tackles, like to some people that's like, oh my god, that's freaking insane. And then also, the talent in there is amazing. Like you also have like you have Salah, obviously Mane, Koulibaly, but then like you could also look at like other players. They're like no one really knows, but then like when they watch this tournament, we go, wow, he's really good.
So, can you do me a favor?
So like you have
No, do me a favor.
Abubakar.
Name one player.
Abubakar. He
Abuba
plays
what?
Cameroon.
From Cameroon.
He got
The
he's
striker.
top goal scorer.
Oh,
Top,
Abubakar,
top
actually,
goal
no.
scorer of 8 goals. 8 goals. Then you have Toko Akambe.
I knew who that
Cameroon.
was.
5 goals. See, like then you have Manago. Manago.
Alright, you're just naming random players.
Abubakar is actually real.
No, I know.
He plays on Malawi.
Yeah, I
Malawi?
actually know him from the only reason why I know him is because of his foot card. but-
Malawi. It's like you see, like this is what you mean. Like you have like players like no one's ever heard of, but then, like when they watch this, they'd be like, "Wow, he's good," and they could attract other teams to buy them. So I'm going. African Cup of Nations was underrated.
African nations, they produce very good players. You see that
They do.
Koulibaly is one of those players. You have Ousmane Sarr, you have Chapo Moting.
Yeah, but they're underrated.
Zambo Anguissa. Yeah, exactly. Underrated players.
Because you're comparing them to a France where you have freaking Kylian Mbappe, Zidane.
France's team's not even French. Come
Okay.
on. Nobody's even from France.
Yeah,
Oh,
but
you're
then-
right, Muso.
But
Nobody-
then
I
you
never
compare
thought of
France.
that.
Yeah, but then also you're comparing like Africa to like African teams. So you're comparing like the Germany, Italy, Netherlands. So it's like
I wasn't comparing.
no one looks at the African players.
Yeah, but
No
see, Leo, I'm
no
stating
one
my
looks
point.
at the African players.
No, but Muso's
I'm-
right. Though.
I'm
I
stating
didn't
my
think of
point.
that.
France
There's a lot
is most of its entire team is they're from African nations. That's why.
That's
See,
true.
they produce good players, and
Yeah.
say if some of your heritage is from France, that's how they went to that team.
And then no one talks.
There's also
about,
a lot of African players that were born in Europe but just chose to play for their African nation. Like Mars was born in France. Aubameyang was born in France.
Yeah, another big player was Eto'o, played for Barcelona. See, he went to Europe. See,
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying.
All right, next one. Overrated, underrated, perfectly rated. The Premier League. What do you think, Musa?
Perfectly rated is one of the best leagues in the world. Serie A right now, Leo. It has to be. It's coming up there. It's coming up there. The competition is getting better.
yeah,
The players are improving.
It is. I'll say
Getting
that.
up there. But Premier League is the best league. I have to say.
Yep.
Premier League is the best league.
Premier League is perfectly rated. It's freaking the best league in the world. Freaking every player wants to go play there. Everyone watches it. It's the league to watch right now. It's been dominating for the past like couple of years, and I think it's gonna stay that way. Premier League is the best league, and it will be for the next couple of years. So I'm saying perfectly rated.
I think it's completely overrated.
Wow. Oh my god.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
No way. That's
Completely
bold.
overrated.
That's
Why?
bold.
Why do you
That's
think that?
bold.
I want to know why.
I knew who was gonna win before the league even started.
Whoa, you didn't know.
City.
Okay, a month in, I knew who
Yeah.
was gonna win.
Yeah, but you see that
Other
that's right
leagues,
there.
what
Luka.
La Liga, title race. Serie A title race.
Ligue
There's
1?
there's
Ligue 1?
I'm not talking. I know.
You have to
Bundesliga?
you have to rate that perfectly
Bundesliga?
rated because League
Bundesliga?
One and Bundesliga, you already know who's gonna win. It's Bayern
Bundesliga?
Munich and PSG always
I
winning
know.
every year.
Okay.
And then either
Exactly.
Bayern or
And that if
PSG.
those leagues are overrated too, why is Premier League not there?
Because think about it, you know how many good teams and good players are in Premier League. You
I
have
know,
Liverpool, you have
I know.
Liverpool,
But I
Man
already
City,
know who's going to
Chelsea,
win.
United. You have so many good teams, players. You have Cristiano Ronaldo, you have Salah, Mane. The list goes friggin' on
Yeah,
and on.
but
Yeah, I know.
Luca, in Premier League, you can't steal every player, every good player. Like, see, in Bundesliga, freaking Bayern Munich took all of Leipzig players last year. They took their
I
manager.
know.
They took
Yeah,
I
not
know.
Chapo. Yeah,
But the thing is
they
that
put Makano.
Manchester City, they're so good they don't even have to do that.
Okay.
They make one or two changes in their starting lineup. Who'd they buy? They bought Jack Grealish. They're not like PSG or Bayern Munich that changes their whole lineup. Freaking PSG has a whole new team. Man City has the whole same lineup as last
It
year,
doesn't
and
matter though.
Yeah,
It's the
Luca,
frickin' Premier League. It's the
You
best
can't
league
call
in
it
the world.
overrated because you don't know who's gonna win every year. Did Man City win 5 years in a row?
No.
No,
Serie A, like Serie A,
exactly.
Juve
Juve
freaking
won 9 years in a
like
row.
what 10, 11, 10, 11 years
No,
in a row they won.
no, nine years in a row they
9
won,
years in a
and
row. That's
I know,
never
but
happened in the Premier.
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about right now. It's overrated right now.
It's not overrated right now.
Maybe 10 years ago it was underrated or perfectly rated. Right
No,
now,
10 years
overrated.
ago, 10 years ago it was underrated. Premier League did not get big until like I would say like 2014, like that. Then it started to pick up, and now
I
like
remember that Barclays Premier League. You remember
yep,
that?
and now like 5 years ago, ever since like 5 years ago, now it's starting to get big, and everyone wants to go play there, and it's big for a reason. It's the
All
best
right.
league in the
That
world.
brings me to my
Everyone
next
wants to go
question
there.
then. Serie A, overrated, underrated, perfectly rated.
Serie A?
I'll start. I think it's underrated.
Mhm.
I think Serie A has a lot of players that are not talked about too much, like Lautaro Martinez, players like that are just there but are not really talked about. I think they're really good. I think it's underrated. Muso?
Underrated. I don't see you don't see big players wanting to go to the Serie A. You don't see these
Mm-hmm.
players wanting to go to the Serie. Either these players want to go to the Premier League, mostly Premier League because that's
Mm-hmm.
where all the big players revolve around.
Mhm.
But Serie A has a lot of good players that are developing there. So
Mhm.
Serie A underrated.
I'm going underrated also. You have like so many good teams and players that like it's like interesting to watch. Like you have like it's not like let's say like a Bundesliga where it's always like oh like Lewandowski top goal scorer like that. And like oh Bundesliga like they always win. It's like Serie A like look at like the title race this year. It's like it's actually interesting to watch Serie A. Like it's not like 9 years in a row. Oh Juve won like nobody cares. Like now like ever since like a year 2 years now it's like you have Atalanta who Atalanta never were like a big team, and all of a sudden now they're like fighting for the title. Then you have also Simone. Simone is having a breakout year. So it's like they have
Mm-hmm.
so many like good players, but like no one really talks about them because it's Serie A. So I'm going Serie A is underrated.
At least there's a title race going on. You have three teams. You
Yeah.
have Inter, Milan, and Napoli competing for the Scudetto this
You
year.
have Juve. Juve's not that far behind right
Juve
now.
and Atalanta, I think.
Fighting for Champions League.
Even
I think we
Lazio.
should-
I'm looking at the table right now. Even Lazio. Right now, Juve 46, Atalanta 44, and Lazio 42.
Lazio, Fiorentina, and Roma, I think they should compete for Europa League. And then Juve and Atalanta.
Champions League?
Yeah, compete for Champions League. I think that's the main,
right.
most important thing this year. The Juve makes
I think we have time for one more just to squeeze it in because we're running out of time. But
Can I do my jersey?
new Portland Timbers
Yes,
away
there it is.
jersey.
Oh my god.
Let's see what you guys think. I
Underrated.
think personally, best jersey I've ever seen in my life.
Oh
It is so nice
god.
because I don't know if you guys know, Portland is known as the city of roses. This jersey is covered in roses, nice maroon and white It's a maroon and white
Why
jersey.
don't we get a picture up there? Why don't we get a picture up
Yeah,
there?
let's get a
Yeah,
picture
yeah.
of it.
It's so sick. It's so sick.
Oh, man.
Musa, what do you think?
Underrated. I actually just bought it myself. It's
It's
a
insane.
beautiful kit, I think. I'm gonna be wearing it probably next video. You guys will see me with that on. It's a great
That's
kit.
sick. Leia, hurry up.
It's disgusting. It's
Oh,
not
wow.
even good.
Wow.
It
Wow.
does not look good. I don't like it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, I was looking at the comments like, oh, what a beautiful jersey. Oh,
Mhm.
this, that. Like, it's not for me. Like, that
Eh,
just
we all
looks-
have our opinions.
that looks terrible.
Leo, I'm surprised. You're a red guy because he's for United, but you don't
Yeah.
really like that. It's like a rose gold.
No, I don't like that one, no.
Whatever. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.
Peace.
Peace.